Hi, my name is Jake. Now let's talk music. Alright, so today is the 17th at 12:30 at night. So not the best time to record. I'm actually really tired, so I'm not gonna spend a crazy amount of time on this review. But I did want to make a review because I think this is the best album that was released on Friday. I mean, no offense to Missionary, but it just wasn't the type of music that I like to listen to. But listening to this album, I would say there's a lot of wasted opportunity here. Like, truly an amazing beat selection by the Alchemist. I mean, whenever you go into one of the Alchemist albums, you know that the beats, they're going to be like some of the best that you're going to hear. I mean, honestly, I think he's had like one of the best producer years this year. Wait, I'm I said that wrong. I think he's probably having the best year of producers this year. That's I think he's the best producer this year. Like, what? Why do I got to make things so complicated? Just say it like how it is. Anyways, but yeah, you get a really good beat selection. Honestly, I would love to see like him put out a version of this album where there's no Rock Marciano and just these beats. I would listen to that. I mean, even within like this same album, just do what you've done in the past. Like have the songs with the artists on them, and then you have just the instrumentals that you use. I mean, even on one of his older albums, I think it's just called Bread, which has a song E. coli, which is a banger. Yeah, you have like these songs, and then you have all the instrumental city songs. But I think the what the difference is that this album was a uh, collab album, seeing as it's a collab album between Rock Marciano and The Alchemist. So I get why there isn't just those instrumentals at the end. But at the same time, I feel like that's the most valuable part of this album. Other than that, you get a couple of solid rapping performances by Rock Marciano, but nothing that's gonna blow you away. And then also, there's just like no features on this. It's just Rock Marciano on the Alchemist beats. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I, from what I had heard from multiple people, I was expecting more out of Rock Marciano, but there's only a couple of solid performances by him. I mean, I would say my favorite beat is Knock It Off, but then you have like Rock Marciano just putting in an okay like verse, and it's like not verse, okay performance. Like nothing spectacular for what I think is the best uh, produced track on this album. And also the lead single Chopstick, another great produced track. Like all these songs are, it's like amazing production. It's just what this album really lacks is great rapping performances. I mean, I could easily see The Alchemist making this one of his albums where it's just beats. I mean, he's done it before with like one that I have listened to. I think there was like only two parts where there was rapping. The food villain. I listened to that fully, and some of the like best instrumentals I had heard that year. I mean, I just think that Alchemist is has got to be on the Mount Rushmore of producers. I mean, you look at his work with Griselda rappers, you look at his work with even underground rappers that weren't really known, like Larry June. Uh, I mean, I don't know who else he's done collab tapes with, but he's just had an amazing run. I mean, Voy. I'm not gonna say this right. Voyeur Dyer with Earl Sweatshirt. I mean, that's also a great album. And honestly, I'm just a big fan of Earl Sweatshirt, one of the best lyricists from the Odd Future collective. But also, one of my favorite albums from 2023, The Great Escape, Larry June and The Alchemist. Just an amazing album with amazing beats and, like I said, an amazing rap performance from someone like Larry June. I mean, Larry June also had a really solid album this year. I forget the name of it, but like I forget it off the top of my head, but I will say it is a honorable mention on my top 10 albums of the year, which I'm going to look that up now because Doing It For Me. Yeah, Doing It For Me was a really good album this year. Um, but yeah, The Alchemist will always be a great producer and one of the best to ever do it. But at the same time, when you listen to this album, you also see, okay, there's going to be Rock Marciano. You want a good rapping performance out of Rock Marciano. So it just didn't happen. But there has been talks on the internet recently. I actually just posted something on my personal story about it, where there are talks of the Alchemist wanting to do a jazz-inspired album with Young Thug, which I I would love that. That would be amazing to hear. Like I I just want to see that happen. If that does end up happening, I'd love it. Uh, but yeah, that's really all I have to say about this album. Like I said, it's nothing that's gonna blow you out of the water, but I do think it's the best album out of the albums that were released this Friday. And honestly, that's the only other one other than Missionary that I'm gonna talk about. I did end up listening to the Fat Joe album and the Paul Wall album. I I'm not gonna make videos on those though. I mean, it was the same thing with Man Down by Ice Cube. Honestly, that's a big thing that you're seeing within 2024. A lot of the legends from older years are putting out some albums. I mean, obviously Missionary. You got the Eminem album. You got Fat Joe, Paul Wall, LL Cool J, Ice Cube. Like all these people are putting out albums this year. I forget if Busta Rhymes did. I think Busta Rhymes at least put out a song this year, but I don't know if he. I think it was last year that he put out an album. Uh, yeah, last year he put out his album Blockbuster. This year, dang, he really hasn't done all too much this year. I mean, he featured on the LL Cool J album. He's put out a lot of singles this year. I'll give him that. A lot of singles and a lot of features, but nothing album or EP or anything like that. But yeah, it's been really a year where some of the older rappers have put out some albums, which I'm cool with. I mean, I'm down for that. But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna make a video about those albums unless they're like something truly amazing that I have to talk about. Um, what is next up for the channel? I finished doing the thumbnail for it. So tomorrow will be the off season. Actually, still haven't listened to the album yet. I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow. After that, we got my delete later. Also, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do other than those. Other than that, I have nothing else planned. Uh, Honestly, what I might do, you might see Alligator Bites Never Heal, like a mixtape review for that. I listened to that multiple times today, and truly one of the best projects from this year. Yeah. Towards the end of December, there, I've already like started planning it out. I'm gonna have my top 10 albums. I was gonna have it capped off at top 10 songs, but I'm doing top 25 songs. Let me restate that: top 10 rap albums, top 25 rap songs. I mean, I would talk about the other genres, but I've spent like most of my year only listening to rap and hip hop, and I missed a lot of like the pop or country or rock or anything that's really come out. So I'm just sticking to rap this year. Maybe next year at this time I'll be able to have expanded my listening habits to where I could do just top 10 albums of that year and top 25 songs of that year. But for right now, I'm just sticking to rap because that's my wheelhouse. That's what I listen to most. So, yeah. Also, um, I know I did the Spotify Wrapped, but what I want to do, I have this app that shows me from January to December of this year, whereas Spotify Wrapped it only did 10 months of this year. So I can truly show what my full year has looked like. I'll do a video about that. Maybe. I don't know. It depends on if I have enough content there to actually make it a video. If not, I'm not going to do it. I mean, it's pretty simple. But yeah, I think that's all I really have news about for right now for like the future. But as we get closer to the new year, I'm going to talk more about the plan for January, which I already have it like pretty much all planned out. But we'll get more into that. Oh wait, one more thing before I go. Uh, SZA just announced that this Friday her SOS Deluxe album Lana will be coming out. So that's definitely one I'm going to be reacting to for this Friday. I literally don't know anything else that's coming out this Friday, so yeah, that's definitely the one that I'm gonna react to though. I love SZA. I own one of her albums on vinyl, so yeah, definitely gonna be talking about the SZA album that comes out this Friday. But yeah, like I said, other than that, I really have nothing else to talk about right now. So until next time, peace.